Hey guys, it's FallenDice, and welcome to episode 38 of FallenDice Plays Better Than Buildcraft. And we are back in the Nether, gonna continue on with our Midas Touch. So I've come to name my new gold farm. Yeah, gonna continue on working with this. First though, I wanted to show that I got a little into my texture pack, and I got rid of those annoying lead, uh, de decorative, whatever they had in there. I love the texture pack, but the windows, using the connected textures, just it didn't look connected. So now we have this. And I did experiment with taking all the lines out completely, but I'll be honest, I like to at least know that there's glass there. So I kept it so just the outside edges are there. You can see that means we can still see our stairway, which makes it a little easier. When I had this completely invisible, this stairway was a little scary. Like maybe I suppose I could have put like some kind of um, half slab or something, but then it would have taken away from being able to see through and see our wall of lava. So anyway, I think it looks pretty nice. The corners, a little more there, but again, like I said, I had to kind of choose between no edges at all or partial edges, which is what I kind of went with. So I like how it looks. Again, we have our nice little room. Haven't gotten anything done since I left off in my last episode here. But that does not mean that I have not been doing anything. So, let me get up here real fast just to get out of here. We're going to go to my creative world, and we're going to look at what I basically have decided on as my design for this. And I don't know how much of this I'm actually going to get done with today, because a lot of this, even though I've got the designs done, how it fits in, I'm starting bottom to top. So we're going to go to the bottom and create the collection area. And that includes both dragon orbs and the items. And then after we get that all set up with all of our power run, then we can start dealing with setting up the actual drop zone and the spawning pads and all that kind of stuff. Something else I'd thought of too is I'm going to need to get mechanical power to all four of these buildings here. So what I'll probably end up doing is maybe with the run it down into the ground underneath and take it over. But that's something for later. So we won't worry about too much about that right now. So anyway, let's go ahead and head over to the creative world, and I'll show you what I've been working on. Alright, so here we are. So first off, here's my design, and I'm purposely looking one way because as I kind of was evolving, it started to change. So understand that this has got four different sides. And if you watch the tutorial for the Ender Farm or any of the other ones out there on the on YouTube, it's a basic design. Each level has a pressure plate going into a repeater into a block that has a piston, so that when you stand on the pressure plate, it knocks you off. Alright. Now, I decided to make it a little bit bigger just because we're trying to do this, in the middle of a larger project, so it just seemed cooler to have it, all these, four sides instead of just one big straight line. So, what we ended up with then, is over here. Now, with the Ender Farm, it required you to leave two spaces between the spawning areas. That being that the Endermen require three, sorry, not two spaces, three, require three spaces to spawn. The pigmen don't have that issue that I'm aware of. And actually, out of curiosity, I never actually got around to doing this. But let's go ahead and test this out just to make sure that one can actually spawn in this hut. I don't even know what the zombie pigman egg looks like. Oh, there we go. Alright. Purpose is just to see, can it spawn in this height? We have to take it off of peaceful. Alrighty. Don't want to do that. They don't have the blocks in there yet. Alright. So it means if I go over here... Oh, these don't have there. Let's see. Let's go ahead and put the wood down here. Alright. Hello. I don't need to fill them all up, just enough to watch them fall off. Alright, okay. They can fit in there. I'm assuming that they can spawn in this height. But if you're already asking the question, does the pressure plate take up part of the height and make it so they can't spawn in here? I'll save you with that issue because this can't work in the first place, because in Better Than Wolves, zombie pigmen can only spawn on netherrack. They can't even spawn on pressure plates. So my initial design for this would not have worked anyway. And I'm kind of glad that for once I actually figured this out in my design phase and not in the implementing phase, because if I had got this all done and then nothing was spawning and I'm trying to rack my brains and finally figure out after the whole thing's built why I'm not getting any gold, that would have made me unhappy. So the size of my design became part of the salvation. Voila! They can spawn on netherrack, and the netherrack blocks do not have a pressure plate. So we've got a too high space here, which they can indeed spawn on. Whatever. It's hard to fit in there when you're moving. But they can indeed spawn on. And then if they take even a single small step, they will get knocked off. So in regular vanilla Minecraft, if you're not in the actual area or close to, they won't move. Not the case with Better Than Wolves anymore. Flower Child figured out how to go back and undo that one change. So now when they spawn on the netherrack, and they will move even if you're not in the area where you have to be with the vanilla Minecraft now. So we lost half of our spawning pads, but because we'd gone with the cross pattern here, we basically end up with the same number of spawning pads we did on this traditional Enderman farm. This I was trying to find something to do for the center just because it's an awful lot of space, and I didn't just want a big giant square hole in the middle with nothing in there. So I was experimenting with a few things, found out that if you have wood will indeed burn. And obviously we know wood's going to burn if it's too close. I was just trying to see at this proximity, maybe even, going down, but it burned all my wood off. So it doesn't affect, however, our pistons, which is good. So pistons, and whether I go with brick, I haven't decided what material yet that I want to use for the finished product. But I do know that putting this one block out means all my wood is safe. This has been sitting here for quite a while. No issues whatsoever. It's not lighting on fire. I'm just going to keep it here again for a while. I want to make absolutely sure. But I probably won't even be making it out of wood anyway. I kind of liked how that looked. But we'll try a few different things when I get down to the actual building of this part of it. Like I said, this will be happening later. The initial part is going to be below. So that's what we have here. So over here I've got some mechanical power powering some wood engines. And the wood engines are powering some obsidian pipes. So let's go give myself a full inventory of wood. And as I get closer to the edge so I can actually drop it, I'll drop it in a nice little pattern all the way over there so you can see that these engines will indeed pick up all of the wood. One at a time, but I figure the speed at which the zombie pigmen will be falling, it'll be ample enough. So there we go. With the 2 blocks between each one of these, 2 empty spaces between each pipe, that is enough coverage to pick up every block that falls on there. And as you see, they are actually falling on hoppers. Hoppers filled with soul sand. So that will give us our dragon orbs. So one farm will be able to give us both experience and items at the same time. The hoppers will just be for gathering our experience, and then all the items will get sucked in through these obsidian pipes. So here is the design that I settled on for how we're going to work it. We got the one power source coming in, and one of these will be in each one of these corners. I'll get to that in a sec too. So it'll be like right here is what we see over there, and that'll control these two, or the drop zone of these two, and of course it'll be underneath it, catching all the things that drop down, and we'll have one on each side. Power is coming from one source, which is right here, and as you can see, we have power coming through, so right now none of these are powered. So in this stage with the switch down, the hoppers are all unpowered, so all of the dragon orbs following will just be stored inside these hoppers. And it'll be that on all 4 of our sections. When we're ready to enchant something, these will hopefully be completely filled up, and so all we got to do is flip the switch. All of our wooden engines are not wooden engines, all of our gearboxes are once again powered. Shower of experience, and you just basically run through, collect it all, run back out, go to the next one. Over here, again coming from the exact same power, up to here, we are now powering 4 wooden engines. And they are right here underneath our obsidian pipes. So basically, just like over there, 2 blocks between each one, feeding into a powered golden transport pipe for speed. But they will take all of our zombie flesh, our items, rare drops, and gold nuggets. Suck them through here, down, and into a waiting chest or storage room, or however we decide to do this part of our build. So this will be real simple. You know, each one of these will have these connected on the outside. So basically just go from one to the next, run through, gather all of our experience, go to the next one, gather all the experience, have some kind of enchanting room below, and voila. Easy day. Now, for those that maybe have some performance issues, that's what she said. All right, sorry. The Ender Farm is always on. I've yet to see one where they actually turned off an Ender Farm. And you can set it so the drop zone has them falling to their death, but if you're in the area, over time you're just going to get a insane amount of Ender Pearls. Which is cool, but once you have enough of them, you really don't need it anymore. The same goes for my gold farm. You know, I don't really ever see not wanting gold, but the possibility if this thing works well is, you know, I may not always need to have it on. And having these things dropping down all of these items laying around and stuff, I'd like a way to turn it off. Well, that got really simple. If you look over here, right now, these are all set up waiting to eject a zombie pigment off the floor. Now, we only have pressure plates on half of them, but we do still have a piston on every one of them. And then, of course, we have a block behind it with redstone. Using creative vertical wiring, so on this level, the redstone torch is on the same level, so we just have the redstone coming off of it. On this one, however, the block is at that level. So what we do is we've got the torches coming off the sides, which will be feeding into this level, and then the next one it'll be on the same level again. So if I flip this switch, both of them are now powered, and because we have now pushed out the pistons on this entire thing, there's now only a 1 block space between these, and there is no space for a zombie pigment to spawn. So we have, in effect, made 0 spawnable areas for zombie pigmen. No more retracting and extending of pistons. They're all just in a extended state. And theory being, this should basically keep my frames doing pretty good. So one switch, and we'll just have to run it to the 4 different points, but it'll be vertical wiring going up on each one. We'll flip one switch and it'll extend every piston we have, and then we don't have any more spawning. Then we're ready to use it, flip one switch, and once again, we are in the money. Or the gold. So yeah, so that is what I have come up with. So that's what we plan on doing. Again, the first thing we got to do is this bad boy. So we've got to get this set up um, and in the proper positioning so that we can route all of our mechanical power to it. And um, yeah, so that is my first. That is gonna be our first job. So we already have our mechanical power coming in, but I'm going to build just the spots where the hoppers are, and then from there, once we get the space set up, throw in my glass over here because I think we'll have this go all the way down to the bottom, just because it'll look cool, and that'll kind of help me with my spacing as well. So with that, let's head back to my regular world and let's get started building. And here we are. So this is the representation of above. So these are where the mobs are going to drop. In the test world, I only had one in between just because I was doing it quickly. But as you can see here, it's actually going to be two. So we're going to have to use 24 hoppers per. I don't have enough hoppers. I'm going to have to go back and make more. I just brought like a stack of each with me, but we can at least. The goal is to work out at least one level, one layer. So we'll go ahead and do that. Um, and do need to route my power through here yet, my mechanical power. So this floor may change a little bit. I kind of liked having the room of lava, which looks really cool with the connected textures now. But we'll have to get power from there to underneath because I don't want to run the mechanical power above. I want it to come from underneath, and then basically wherever I need it, it'll just come up through the floor straight up and do what it needs to do, and all the ugliness will be downstairs where I don't have to look at it. Yes. So, um, let me think about this for a little bit, and then I will be right back. So we're experimenting and discovering that yes, surrounded by fire, that will definitely burn, which is kind of what I expected, but I wanted to make sure of that. So we'll go ahead. My next question is, does it have to be directly next to it to burn? And so far the gear itself isn't burning, just the gear box was. But we'll continue waiting here, and both of them have open air above them, so they satisfy all the requirements to burn. Near heat, burnable block, and space above it. So let's see. I'm going to let it sit here for a little bit, and if it starts to burn, I'll come right back and show you. Well, so far, it appears to be good. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it sitting here. Again, you're surrounded directly by fire. The direct adjacent blocks are not on fire, but one block from there is. So I'm going to leave you guys both sitting there. We'll head back over here and do some more work over here, and then we'll come back and take a peek and see if either one of these burn. I'm going to assume that if this one starts, that'll definitely set this one on fire. So if they're both gone when I come back, I'll go back and reset it back up with glass in here and then just the gearbox in the middle. Again, I want to verify before I build anything because I don't want anything kind of breaking while it's actually working. So we'll head back over here, and my next thing is I haven't decided exactly what material I want. I did the outline in Netherrack just because I wanted something simple, and actually I should probably let's get some pigment down here. I wanted something simple and easy to destroy. Wow, that scared me. I thought one spawned down here. Just to set out the spacing, and then we'll start kind of building it. But I'm still trying to figure out what material I want. I don't know that I want to go with the stone bricks, although I do have some here. I was leaning towards maybe using the sandstone. I think that might actually look good down here. So I need to go, let's just go ahead and eat this all up. And it's got to be too high, because our room's going to be too high. And then, so we can walk underneath the hopper. So technically, actually 3. So we'll put the extra layer behind us as we walk. And like I said, the hopper will go in the middle between all these. I still need to, I haven't brought all my piping yet. I kind of came up with the design earlier, so I still need to kind of go back and get a few more supplies. But we can get the basic gist of the design and just see how the block looks, because that's my biggest thing right now, is just to see how it's going to look, because there's going to be a lot of glass too. So, and I'm realizing too as I'm going through here, I like to kind of walk through my design process, but I also want to, like as my last episode, I want to do a lot of this off camera so that we can, you know, get more done in the time allotted without most of it being the slow, tedious stuff. Whew, glad I had that. All right. Let's take a look and we'll see what we got from the side. Looks all right. I'm gonna take the stone brick, and I think I might have some stone up there. We'll look at all these and we'll kind of see which one I think is gonna look better down here, and I'll be right back. All right, so let's see what we got. And man, those they are noisy up there. They are all over. Whew, there's 3 of them. Got one inside the building right now. Wow, there's a lot of them. Okay, anyway. Alright, so here we had our sandstone. Looks alright, but stone brick, which I still kind of like stone brick as far as, you know, with mob builds and things like that. The regular stone, I may actually go with that. That doesn't look too bad. And then put in some actual just wood planking. It looked all right out there, but I'm not a big fan of it in here. So I'm thinking it's between these two. Stone brick, stone. Let me think about this for a sec. Alright, so before we go, okay. So you won't burn. But even with that amount of spacing, my gearbox did. So that was technically saying that the fire or the lava was 2 blocks away. While we're still continuing on, let's keep our let's keep practicing. Well, actually, let's get rid of you first. Stick you down there, and let's make it 3 blocks. I'm just curious to see where I can put it. So from there, it's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Okay, so at this point, we're 3 blocks away. And if that works, then I'm okay. And technically, I could even go 1 more, because I can have the gearbox, the level of the lava, plus 1 up and 1 below it, and then the 2 gearboxes. So that may be what we end up going with. But again, I'm experimenting to kind of see. So we'll leave that there for a little bit. But we'll come back over here, and stone wins out. I could change the floor to kind of have that match a little bit less, you know, being the same texture and everything. But the thing about this is, since I'm building in the Nether, light on the inside is not going to be quite as bright. And I think this kind of lightens things up a little bit. I could add lights, but I don't need to, because the Nether, the only thing I need to prevent spawning is to just not have Nether brick or Nether rack. So I like how this looks too. I think it kind of, well, with this texture pack, you know, obviously things change with different stuff, so hopefully it looks good in other ones. But yeah, we'll go with that. So, and since it's going to be a little bit different, but we'll go ahead and, what are you doing up there? I was practicing earlier. We'll go ahead and add these in. Again, at the moment, we're just kind of trying to feel this out. Once I get a good design for it, I'll kind of do a lot of the work off camera, but I just like to kind of show how I brainstorm, as well as I think it's just a little bit easier to kind of get the feel of what's happening when you actually can be part of the discovery process. All right, so we're up here. What do I have that I can see? We'll use gear or axles to pretend that they're pipes. So I had one here, skipping two, skipping two, skipping two. All right. Now, underneath the obsidian pipe is going to be our pump. And then, of course, down here, might as well just take it all up because that's where we're going to be running our axles. I guess I've been calling them gears. Yeah, sorry. That's where we'll be running our axles up to the engine, and then that'll be the pipe up there, and then coming over here. All right. Now, that's what we got, because that's what we want, because we want all the innards underneath, so then obviously we'll have the hole here, probably a gearbox right there for each one of these, and then, you know, one axle engine, so it'll give it kind of like a, I guess kind of like a window to see outside, to be able to see through there. Alright. You know what? I'm gonna run back. I'm gonna go back to my cabin. I want to go get the proper materials, and that's actually I'm gonna tear all this out, and then I'm not gonna build the other ones yet. I want to wait till we get this finished, just in case I change the height level or anything like that. But we'll bring in the piping, the engines, everything, and we'll go ahead and at least set up this portion of our design here. So let me go grab all the stuff I need, and I will be right back. Alright, so our first part is, again, to place our obsidian pipes. So once again, 2 blocks between each. And it only has to be on the one side. This will get all of the drops from both sides, I believe. I didn't test it all the way, but I do know that at blue, it was getting everything from here, which would get that one. Question is that one, but once these are running, they're just going to stay running, so they'll get to like the orange / red stage, so it should be able to. I'm going to have to hope once we get it up and running, we'll test it out. We'll place some things all the way back here just to see how it works and make sure it does what it's supposed to. Alright, and then our engine is going to go underneath it like that. And again, I'm not going to do any of the power coming to it yet until I finalize that the design in this stage works. But we'll say that well, let's see, I could put the gearbox at this level, or what I think I'll probably end up doing is underneath, one down, so it'll be two axles, kind of like I said, like the little window look, and then the gearbox below. Either way will work. I could even go one lower if I want to. Let's see. Now the question is where. I think that's probably what I did. Let's see. I think we'll make at least the bottom 2 rows are stone again. And I'll show you the reason for that here shortly. Just jump over. Yeah. And I could do glass, but I don't know, we'll see. I may end up going back. The problem is I need to be able to place redstone torches. That is the ultimate here. Because our goldens are going to go there, and we'll have redstone torches here and here to power them. And then they'll feed into, let's get the rest of our pipes down. I think we, let's see if I go like this and this. Do I have my wrench? I don't. Alright, I need to get a wrench. I have them up in my thing. Make it so it's one directional going this way. Means they won't be able to feed them that way, so it's got to go here. And there. I'll get back to that. That one goes there. Once again, directional, so it can only go here. And you're there, but this one has to be. Okay, there we go. And it'll be pointing down. So all of them will come across and feed into here, and then from this point we're heading down to however we're storing all of our stuff. And that may be downstairs as well. Haven't quite figured that part out yet. Let's see. Still probably going to have the lava coming all the way down to here, maybe even towards the bottom, and this will help light the inside because the outsides are perfectly lit from there, but with the lava coming down, that should help light a little bit here. Alrighty. That's that. Now I'm gonna have to. Roadblock. On the outside world, I only had it one row, which meant I only had to have mechanical power going into one side. See, this is why I'm glad I'm doing all this small scale first. So I may have to turn this into a single, which will offset it a little bit. Dang it. But I think it'll annoy me, but I don't know if it annoys me enough to go and completely enlarge the wall by a block. No, not that much. Because I need it coming from both sides, and there's no way I could do this. I mean, if I put the engine upside down above there, but the mess of wiring, I need to go to one. All right, well, that's our first major change. This can only be one block separating between the pads. Alright, I'm gonna have to do a bit of rearranging to make this work, so yeah, I'll be back when I kind of have this figured out a little bit more. Alright, so we're kind of work in progress on the new design here. Biggest thing is 3 blocks from center for each one to center it. So where the cobble is, that's where the hoppers will be. So the hoppers are going to be on the right wall of the 2 wide, because I left the 2 wide, but as you see, it'll really only be 1 wide as it goes up, but that's just kind of for the walking space. We want a 2 high room because we got to run our mechanical power. But yeah, so 3 wide each going in. That still gives us the ability to make our nice big lava lamp coming down. But yeah, like I said, it's going to be to the right of it. So over here to the right, over here to the right, over here to the right. And then we'll be putting, see, I got like a couple things of pipe on each one of these to show this is the side the pipe will be on, pipe will be on, pipe will be on, which means the mechanical will be on the right side of all of these. So it'll kind of tie in, and this should work. So now we only have the 1 row of hoppers here. Didn't actually change this at all. I stayed exactly the same, other than I kind of put that out 1 more block. Got some redstone to power it. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. of course, yeah, we have in the these coming down, and I think I will probably be putting the gearbox at that level. So let's get the gearbox in place, and I'll worry about orienting it to the right direction later. Again, like I said, I'm just trying to get the basic of one done, then I'll go through and I'll do more work and kind of come back in and show you. But here's how each one of these will be. And I probably will end up changing the bottom level to glass, maybe just for aesthetics, although I'd have to change how this is. We'll see. But yeah. Alright, that'll work. Now the next part is this whole row goes away because we're going to be having our mechanical power going into it. So let me do that real fast. I'm going to set that up just because I can already see I'm starting to run a little bit long, and I want to at least get the design for this collection area done for this episode, and then the next one we can start working as we're going up, and maybe work a little bit on one of those rooms. But for now, I just want to get this design done. So, all right, I'll be right back. All right, so I think we have the design for this pod done pretty well. I still have to figure out exactly how I want to do the materials on the walls, because I don't know now that I like just having a smooth stone all the way around it. I have to tweak and play with it a little, and I'll do that off camera and then kind of show you. But so here's how we're going to do our mechanical power. The mechanical power will be coming from this gearbox. I think yeah. Otherwise, actually, you know what? I think I added more than I really needed to. If I just go like this, there we go. Okay. From that gearbox there, it'll be coming from there. So when we have the switch here on or off, that'll turn that gearbox, which is controlling this set of gearboxes and that set of gearboxes, and that'll control all of our hoppers. It's so weird coming up like this. I feel like I'm falling into lava or something. Alright, and then on this side, once again, we'll put in our piping, and I did kind of check to make sure that it could fit, and I see over here, it was above where we've got the this going, so, and then it moves over to the inside before it drops down. So I should be okay here. When I build the rest of these, I'll find out for sure. But that takes care of all of our drops. So soul sand in there, we'll be saving up all of our experience. When we're ready to harvest it, we just come in over here, flip the switch, and then run through our shower of experience. Yay! Awesome. I am going to play around with this now. I don't like the way it looks. I don't. I mean, I like the this part of it, but it's like the smooth stone. Don't like the way that looks. So I'm going to play around with that. When I get a good design, I'll do the other three, and then I will pop back in and I will show you what the collection area looks like. And then I'll check and see how much time I have, and maybe we'll go play there real fast so I can at least get a builder going while I'm doing the rest of my work up here. So, all right, I will see you guys in a few. All right. Well, it's funny. Like I always say, it's like the way things turn out isn't always even close to what I originally had thought. But it always ends up looking even better, I think, a lot of times than what I had originally planned for. So what we ended up doing was sandstone. We went back to the sandstone, but not just regular sandstone. We brought in textures. So we have all these cool new sandstone blocks. So here is the drop area, and I've only built it this high. But the inside is all of, and I don't remember which ones are called which because they both seem like hieroglyphic, but obviously this is hieroglyphic here. And so I guess that's like the, doesn't matter. Looks friggin' awesome. So come into each one of our tunnels. You got like the alternating regular sandstone with the hieroglyphic. and then the entry into each one of these has this nice diamond looking one. This is to power our engine, so those are all our engines up here. 12 hoppers, each will have a sandstone, and then we flip our switch here, and this is to turn the hoppers on and off. Get our nice little experience shower, and I've repeated that on all 4 wings. What ended up happening with my number difference is these 2 wings are actually shorter than these 2. I'm not really sure why or how, but I had to do a little bit of tweaking. Like if you come out here and look at this one, you can see it's one single line. It kind of, is fairly easy to do. However, when I got to these ones, because it was shorter, to get to this block here, I had to do a loop around to get to it. So it's a little bit different, but still, you see I've got a lot of area in each one of these. I can go ahead and pick these up now. I have a lot of area in each one of these corners to build something. Same with this one, had the little extra width on it. But this one, it's got the normal. And I had to change the design. Like I used to have it going a few extra out there. Now I've just got this one little area to get down there just because I had to be able to bring up my power. If we come down, and you can see how we've got all this here. So I'm going to end up having to do scaffolding and stuff to get at this. But all I have to do is provide power there, 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 and there. 4 spots, which isn't going to take a lot. The more I think about it, I probably could have done something underneath and then not even had the mechanical power up there. And I may come back and look into that. I may come down, build the scaffolding under these, and try and do what I did upstairs underneath, and then it would just be having an entire row of gearboxes at floor level going straight up into them. Oh, you know what? That sounds better. I said I wanted to do all the ugliness underneath here, and I ended up doing it up there anyway. So let's see. If I did that, then this would all be gone, and this would be all you'd see. A row along here, going up into all of those, and that would be it. The rest of the room would be open to do as I please. I do like that. And it would make it probably look cooler from above. I'm going to go ahead and pop up so you can kind of see how this looks from upstairs now. And again, like I said, I sat there and I stared for a while trying to figure out what I wanted to make. And then when I realized that I was only going to have, like, say, the bottom couple, levels with any blocks in them, then, it started to change which blocks I wanted to have in them. I keep forgetting I can totally walk on this now. So yeah, and I think I'm going to probably bring that sandstone all the way up to the top with the glass, so you'll see that kind of frame from the inside. But yeah, if I get rid of all that, this would definitely clean and tighten this up. Alright. Yep, alright, I've already said I'm going to do it. Gonna do it. What's a little more work? Okay, so what's a lot of more work? It'll still look a ton better. Alright, and then while I'm at it, I think I'll go ahead. We might as well run power to it so we can actually fully op test it. So we'll go ahead and run power from over there into here, and then we'll start this thing up. So, all right, well, I got my work cut out, so I will be back for you guys shortly. For me, not so shortly. Oh, right. I've gotten one section finished, and I have to say it looks a million times cleaner. I really do like how that looks. It definitely makes each of these corners, I have a lot more that I can do with it if I so choose to. Maybe having something to do with, chests and stuff. We'll figure it out as we go along. If you come over here, you'll see that right now we currently have our engines are now powered. So they're pumping away, so anything that happened to be dropped on our hoppers would get sucked in. Well, I don't have the soul sand in there yet, but once I do, it will get sucked in through the hoppers and end up on the floor because I have this actually going nowhere at the moment. But we'll go down and I'll show you the how it looks down here. So what we ended up doing, got the power coming in from over here. Let's jump up there and take a peek. Can't really go inside there. I only made it too high and I backed myself out, but goes all the way across over there. And I may end up having to redo where that is because I looks like one end of it's it should be okay. But you'll see over here, up there is that comes in from over here, comes up into there. That's where the redstone hits it, and then it just basically goes over one and then drops back down, and that's what feeds our area over here. See how much I can kind of see from the angles in here. All right, actually comes over there and then comes down. One layer comes over here, goes into there, and that's what's feeding the bottom layer. Off of that bottom layer, we've got it coming up here. It goes over, and comes back around, and this allows us to get that one off because I was having trouble with spacing again. So basically, the odd are the, I guess it'd be the evens because the odds are getting fed from underneath. So the evens would be coming off of the odds. So it basically comes over to here, and then comes all the way down here, and they feed over there. The second row, that's what's powering our engines. So it's coming in off of here before it gets to the redstone. So even if I turn off the power to the hoppers control, or the gearboxes controlling the hoppers, the items will still get sucked up. Remember, we only want to turn power off to here when we're ready to take the experience, but we always want the items getting routed into our piping system. So that's that. I just got to do it 3 more times, but I think I am going to do that before the next episode. And when I come into the next episode, we'll have all this done, and then we can continue on. So we're going to go ahead and call this an episode. I think it's definitely probably longer than I think it is, even though I think I'm ending it early. But once again, we are definitely making some really good headway in this, and I really like how this is turning out. Like I said, this definitely looks cool. The only issue is I'm probably going to have to get rid of that. Oh, that's fine. Just so I can get into here. When I close it, I can't tell. The look of everything else is still the same. I like how this looks. I think this is cool. Shower of experience. Alright, so yeah, like I said, we will call this an episode, and I'll be busy getting ready for the next one, and then we'll just continue right along. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.